Hello, and welcome to the Create a Life You Love podcast. I'm your host, Chantel Cox. My purpose is to empower and lift up others who know in their heart they're meant for more. More joy, more impact, and more passion. If you're ready to make a radical transformation and create a life that you love, then you have come to the right place. Let's do this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Create a Life You Love video podcast, where we get to connect with people from all over the world to share tips and strategies designed to help you on your journey. I'm your host, Chantel Cox. I'm an author, speaker, transformation neurocoach, and certified life purpose coach, and I specialize in helping women connect with their unique purpose and permanently remove the blocks that have been holding them back so they can step into their full potential and live an aligned and fulfilling life of impact. So, quick reminder, this is being streamed live. So if you're with us, please feel free to put any comments, questions in the chat, and then we'll get to those as they make sense in the flow of our conversation. And if you are catching the replay, go ahead and play along as if you are with us live. Just use hashtag replay and we'll respond to you later. So I'm super excited to be here today with Valerie Stancill. Valerie is an author, a life coach, and a speaker, and she's going to be sharing her amazing story about finding her purpose through tragedy, and then also give us an update on all the amazing things she's doing out there to help others and some tips to help you on your journey as well. So welcome, Valerie. So good to have you here.
Thank you, Chantel. I am so excited to be here. I've been waiting for this day for a very long time.
Yes, me too. And so tell us where you're joining us from.
I am joining you from South Jersey. I live in a really small town. If you blink, you will pass it. But it is just so quaint and so nice. You know, it's a safe environment, right on the Delaware. Not that the Delaware is beautiful, but I love water. So it's just the opportune place for me to live.
Oh, I love that. So you have a really amazing story. And so I can't wait for our audience to just hear all about it and really learn about you and your journey. So tell us, what's the story behind how you've created a life that you love?
Wow. I have so many things I could tell you, but what started it was, the diagnosis of my husband, which was a terminal disease. And, what do you do when you're confronted with that? You try to make the best of it. And, when you're in it, you can't see anything beneficial from it. But what I learned was in that 14-year journey, I learned my purpose. And my purpose is to empower, inspire, equip, and educate women. And through that, all of that, tragedy and trauma, I've become a, 4-time best-selling author. I'm an international speaker. I'm a certified domestic violence advocate. I am a life and self-care coach. I'm a Reiki master, a massage therapist, a yoni steam practitioner, and a radio show host. And in all of that tragedy, would I have ever believed that I would be where I'm at today? And, it was a rough time because, like I said, he had a rare lung disease, which incapacitated him to, it's unexplainable. He would pass out. He couldn't breathe. He was on oxygen 24/7. Then he ended up being a end-stage renal person, so I had to do his dialysis and care for him for all of his other injuries. It was very difficult for him to breathe. This disease affected not only your lungs, but your heart. It's called pulmonary arterial hypertension. It's like the systemic high blood pressure, but it's in your lungs, and it causes you to have, right-sided heart failure because your lungs just don't work properly. So all that tragedy, I was able to turn it around to find my purpose and to create a life that I love now, because of course 14 years I was living a life that I didn't love. And now I absolutely love what I do. And I not only teach people how to do it, but I practice it as well. And I think that is so important, that you have a morning routine and even an evening routine, because when you wake up in the morning, you're already fresh and ready to go. Your mind is already set on positivity.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much for sharing a bit about your journey and just how you've really taken the tragedies from your life and come out triumphantly and are using it to, you've really stepped into your purpose and you're doing so much positive work out there in so many ways to help so many people. It's really amazing. So, and yeah, 100% about the morning and the evening routine, and that your morning routine actually starts in the evening, the night before, for
Hmm.
sure. Um, so, uh, with all that you're doing, what are some tips that you have for some of our audience so as they are creating a life that they love?
One of the things I like to say is that, don't ever not be able to look at a situation. I remember when I would look at a situation and it would be like a death sentence, like, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? What's going to come of this? And now, my whole perception of a trauma or any emotional situation is, what can I do to turn this around to be a blessing to someone? Because I'm not, I don't have any uniqueness or sole proprietorship on my tragedies or anything. What I've been through, other people have been through. But what I've been through will help you to get through, and why go through that alone? And I like to say that that's something that you have to acclimate yourself to, I guess is the better word. um, because it's not, when you're in a situation, you look at it and say, oh, well, how am I going to use this to help somebody? How is this going to be beneficial to someone? And it took me a long time to get to that point. But I think when you look at situations and circumstances that way, or even how is it going to improve you? How is it helping you, to move forward in your life? Instead of looking at it as like, oh, what was me, look at it as like, oh, how can I benefit from this? What is this? What is the purpose of this? What is this going to help me to do? Or what is this going to help me to help another person to do? And I take it as, how am I going to use this to help another person?
Yeah, I love that. And that really helps you get some perspective when you're in a really dark place. If you're able to step back for a moment and just think long term. I remember when I was going through my divorce, my mom said something along the lines of, I know this feels really big right now, but at some point, this is going to be a blip on the lifeline of your, like, the timeline of your life.
Mhm.
And it did not feel that way right then, right? I'm like, no, this is
Right.
it. My life is over. Like, this is the worst thing that could happen. And it's not, she's a very wise woman and she's correct. It's now, a blip on the timeline of my life. But we can get so caught up when we're in that moment. It's hard, right? And it's okay to have all those feelings and grieve any losses and feel your emotions and own those emotions. But at some point, also look and just take a step back and get perspective and ask, what is this teaching me? How is this helping
Yeah.
me grow? And how can I maybe use it at some point in my life to help others grow? I love
Yes.
that
And I think
you
that's really, you know, I'm sure your listeners are listening to us, and some of them are probably like in a situation. And they're like, what they're saying is not true, because I'm in this situation right now. And this is not looking good. I
Mhm.
don't know what's going to happen from it. But listen to us, like that little boy. Listen, Linda, listen, listen.
I love that.
I am telling you, I was there. I was there. For 14 years, I would be like, God, why? What am I supposed to do with this? Why did you allow this to happen? Why? What if I had done this different? If I had done that different? But, in the end, and I'm telling you this too, in the end, I still felt like that.
Mm.
But it was maybe 2 years later, and when I finally got myself together, from losing my husband, I realized, what I've been through, I can help somebody else.
Yeah.
And then that gave me the ammunition to start saying, I'm not going to be miserable about this. Sometimes I'm upset about something, but I always turn it around to see how I can give that to someone else to help them through that journey. It's some person I followed years ago. He's like, why go through it, when you can go through it with somebody else? The book's already been written by the person who's going through it. So
Hmm.
just, follow them and get advice from them. And sometimes, it's just really good to have someone walk alongside of you for that journey, to help uplift you, or just to motivate you, or encourage you, even if it's not on a daily consistent basis. You're the person that they can come to, when they're in a spot, or they feel like they're not in a place where they can function, and then you can come through and show them, I've been through that, or I've been through this, and this is what I've done, and I know how you feel right now.
Hmm.
A lot of people are like, oh, I know how you feel. No, you don't, because you never experienced it. So I can say I know how you feel, because that was only the beginning of all the things that I thought was going on. It took me, I guess, maybe 10 years to realize that that depression that I thought that I had from my husband's passing, in actuality, started from my childhood. But I wasn't able to identify it, because as a child, how do you know that you're in a dysfunctional family? You don't. And I learned so much about myself from doing that work, to heal myself from that hurt and that trauma that I had. It brought up to the surface all of the things that I had buried down deep inside. So, and I'm saying all this to say this to your listeners. Um, Never despise small beginnings. And I know people say that a lot, but, had I known that then, I probably would have had a different lifestyle, but, I was nice, nasty to people. I was miserable. So I hurt people because I was hurt. I didn't love people because I didn't know how to love. And, the list goes on, but it's not a death sentence to your life. It's the beginning of your life, that when you realize what you need to work on. And working on yourself is a daily thing, something that you have to do daily.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love all of that. And it just really is empowering. It can be a little scary and intimidating of
Mhm.
like, what do you mean I have the choice to decide what I want to do with this? But once you really embrace that, it's really quite empowering that you
Mhm.
get to plot your course.
Yes, yes, it is. And I think that, it takes time, doing some baby steps. Did I just jump out there with 2 feet and do this? No, I did. The first thing I did was write a book. I wanted to write a book about the 14-year journey with my husband, and the illness and the family and all the this and that, that people had no idea about. Um, and I just wanted to share my story of how we went through such a tragic situation, but our love that we have for each other superseded all of that. If my husband was alive today, he would tell you he was not sick, he felt fine. He was sick as a dog, and he would never say he was. And, and he would never say how he knew how much I cared for him, and took care of him. And not until he passed did all his friends come and tell me, Benny used to say, oh, if it wasn't for my wife, I would probably be dead. If it was, so you have to just, no matter how paramount or how tragic, how, bad this situation is, when you get through it, you can look back at it as a bleep, as Chantel said. It is just, when you're in it, it's like, oh my God, it is devastating. You do not see your way out. But when you are out, it's an amazing thing that you can turn that tragedy around, and make that pain into purpose. And I've written books and done speaking engagements and workshops and all of that from that tragedy, and helped other people, you know and you just don't realize that in all that, that's your purpose that you were supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. And so tell us the titles of your books and where people can get a hold of them.
Well, one of my books, well, the first book is called Who Ordered These Shoes. I don't think I don't have that book with me, but it is a picture of a lady with beautiful legs, and she has on turquoise high heels, which is my favorite color. And I am 6'1", and I've had 4 knee replacements, so I would never be in the heels. So that's why it's called Who Ordered These Shoes. But on the same token, who ordered these shoes about me having a life like this? I didn't order these shoes. I wanted to give them back, return them, but I couldn't, and it's just an amazing story. And that book you can get from me. My other book is called My Life for Yours, Chronicles of a Caregiver's Unconditional Love. That's an anthology that I did with, I'm the owner of the book, and then I have 10 other women that wrote their stories in the book. And that is all about caregiving, because I wanted to write about my journey as a caregiver, and then for the caregivers that are out there to know that somebody recognizes them, that what you're doing is not being noticed. And being a caregiver is a thankless job. It's very, very hard. And you do, if you really are focused on what you're doing, you are giving your life for someone else. I would give my life for my husband over and over and over again. And then I've done some anthologies with other people where I contributed to their books. And then my latest book is Knight in Rusted Armor, Mistaken Identity. That is about my journey with domestic violence. After I finally, decided to date again, the first person I meet is an abuser. So I wrote about that. And my latest book is Break the Silence, Remove the Mask, and Heal. All those books are on Amazon, and you can get a personalized copy from me. You can get that from Valerie at purposeforwellness.com. And the prices range. Like the workbook is the domestic violence is more like a workbook. It tells my story. It tells you about the different red flags. It talks about some people don't look at it as a red flag. I think they think it's a yellow flag, so they proceed with caution. But or do they just look at it as a flag and don't pay it any mind? And the different layers of domestic violence, why they don't leave, because people always want to be judgmental of that. And then there is, I just wanted to see what I called it, because I've written so many books, I can't remember. But it is a pledge that about judging people that of domestic violence. And it says, I will not judge women, men, or children who are involved in domestic violence relationships. I will listen and make myself available to friends or families in this situation. I will store items and or assist with a plan of escape when they're ready to leave. And then it's a line for you to sign it. Because so many people want to judge, and there's so many reasons why the men or the women don't leave. It's not because they like it. It's various situations. And it's more like a workbook. So there's worksheets in there for you to complete things and things of that nature. And but most of my books are about depression, grief, trauma, and how to maneuver through that, navigate through all of that. because sometime you need that help. And it's okay to not be okay, but it's even better to get help.
Absolutely. I do want to really highlight something that I love about that pledge you just read that really stood out to me, that I will wait until they're ready. Like you use the
Mhm.
word like they are ready, because so often, yes, the judgment is an often thing of, well, why haven't you left, or why did you go back, or those
Mhm.
judgment thoughts. But the other thing is we want to get in there and fix it and get them out. But it really, they've got to be ready, and you
Mhm.
have the opportunity to be there until they are.
Right. And that's one of the things that I wanted people to understand is that they have to be ready. It like we were saying, is so many variables as to why they stay, and none of it is because they like it. Some of it is because financially they can't afford to leave, and various reasons. But you coming in and telling them, well, you know what, you should leave. If I were you, I would do this. If I were you, I would do that. And what I want you to do is to turn that around and just be there for them. If help, say, look, I'm here. If you want to leave, let's make a plan of escape for whenever you're ready to leave. Give me, your important papers, keys, um, anything important that when you leave you need, I'll have it. Give me your clothes, all of that. Don't just be like, you know what, girl, you need to get out of that situation. And I've said that to one of my girlfriends, and her husband ended up almost killing her. But I wish that I had have known what I knew then, because then I could have been there to help her. And you don't know what you don't know until you have to know it. Because it's a matter of life or death, or an emotional situation, because it's not only physical, it's emotional, and narcissism, and so many other variables that are under the umbrella of domestic violence. And the biggest thing is when they are ready. Like you said, that is the key word, when they are ready.
Absolutely. I will apologize. Apparently, a big thunderstorm is in the area. So if you hear thunder
Oh,
in the background, that's
you
what's
can't
going
hear
on.
it. You can't
Welcome to Kansas.
hear it.
um, yes. So this is just such a dynamic conversation, and we could go so many directions with it. Um, I'm looking at the chat. I want to give a shout out. Hi, Kamza. Thanks for joining us live. And someone threw up a heart or something a minute ago, I saw. So
Okay.
thank you. Whatever you were sharing, Valerie, was really resonating with one of our live participants. So
I'm so
um,
glad.
I do also want to shift gears just slightly, because as you listed at the beginning, you help in a lot of ways. You help a lot of people in a lot of ways. And
Mhm.
a big piece of your journey and how you do that is through what we talked about. But then there's this other fun side that I love seeing your posts about my boyfriend Jim, and Jim being GYM. And so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I at one time I was 400 pounds, and wow, that was such a journey. One day I was at a barbecue, and those white chairs that everybody has, like the really hard plastic or whatever, they have the little lines in them. Well, when I got up, the chair was stuck to me because I was so big. I was like just in that chair, like, and I was like, you got to do something about this. So I had gastric bypass in 2007. And in 2014 my husband passed away. So I decided that I would start going to the gym, because and when you first have it, you can't, you have to wait a while before you can do some things. So I mean, I waited 4 years, but no, 7 years to finally, I was dibbling and dabbling with the gym, but not as consistently. And I think I realized that I needed some outlet, from losing my husband. So I started going to the gym, and then I started this little quote saying, oh, me and my boyfriend Jim are doing blah, 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 blah. Me and my boyfriend Jim. And, I was a coach at the time. So in the morning, I would do like a little motivational thing. And I'm like, oh, gotta run because I gotta go meet my boyfriend Jim. And now people are following me. People are stopping me out in the street and like, oh my God, you look so great. Because now my body is different because I'm at the gym all the time. So my body looks different than when I first lost weight. And they're like, oh, can you share your boyfriend Jim? You think your boyfriend Jim would take me? And it's just gotten so cute, and people DM me and everything. So now I'm getting ready to start the My Boyfriend Gym Network, where I have fitness experts on board. I'm been talking these last 2 weeks to fitness experts because I am not an expert. I just was determined to use that surgery as a tool. People are, so many people I remember in the beginning were like, oh, you cheated, you had the surgery. Let me tell you, the surgery is no joke because I had the open type because that was back in 2007. They were just starting to do the lap bands and I forgot what the other ones were, but mine was an open procedure and I had to stay in the hospital. And they're like, oh, you cheated. Let me tell you something. That is not cheating at all. I was very sick. I still get sick from eating certain foods, and you have to watch your sugar intake. And I can eat more food now than before, but you can eat one little morsel over, and you feel like you've eaten like a whole cow. So I wanted to make sure that I just, kept the weight off and I wanted to look better. So I was saying I had got all these people to be the experts. So I have a lot of fitness experts. We do a weekly networking call. We have a guest on the call, like one of those fitness experts. We do gym meetups if you're local in my area. We do a walking meetup, which can be done virtual and local. How to make that change to a healthy lifestyle. Do you set a goal? I'm going to lose 20 pounds in a month. No, you're not. Let's say we're going to lose 2 pounds or 5 pounds in a month and, do the baby steps. Then what else do we have? Oh, the private Facebook page where you can, write and get advice from, people that are like you, same type people. And then discounts on my workshops, my books and my supplements and things like that. But it's a fun time. These people that I have met that have said yes are amazing people. They all have businesses, they all have lots of clients, and they're willing to give their time, to talk to the people in the network. And you're talking to people, like-minded people, and networking is great because it's networking, it's collaboration. I've gotten, asking them to come into the network. Oh, you want to be on my show? I have a radio show. I have I have a podcast. So the networking is really, really good. And then the information within itself is awesome. So it's so much fun. And the gym is actually my happy place. It's a place that I love. I go to the gym mostly every day, except Sunday I don't go. I have my coach, I have a trainer. She's like, you have to have a rest day. So Sunday is my rest day. But I'm there every day and I have my headphones on. I really don't want people to talk to me, but now people are starting to talk to me. But it's my time of reflection, meditation. I have my headphones on, I'm dancing to the music, and I don't care that people are watching me. I'm just into me and my boyfriend Jim.
I love it so much. And uh, what's the name of the Facebook group if people want to go check that out?
You can go to myboyfriendgymnetwork at gmail.com. And there will be a free information call this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that information is on my page, Valerie Mandisa Karasi Stancill. I post about him every day, and I've been posting about the My Boyfriend Gym Network all these last 2 weeks. I talk about it all the time. But check it out. It's something that you do not have to be there in person. You can do it all virtually. You can be in Kansas. One of the fitness experts lives in Hawaii,
Oh,
and
cool.
she is, coming on. And there's all different, they're in all different arenas, yoga and kickboxing and regular fitness training, karate, all types of people. And I still have more people to talk to for the remainder of the week. But it's amazing, people coming on. One lady, she just gives her recipes. She's a fitness person, but she can't commit to something else, but she's going to give us all the healthy recipes. And so I'll do some meditation, some deep breathing, some distance Reiki. There's just so much that's going to be going on in the group, and just the interaction of, amongst the people in the network. So it's just beginning, and I'm hoping that we will get a good turnout, and we will just continue to build this momentum.
I love it. I know that it's just going to do amazing things. So, everybody, go check that out and connect with Valerie. So, Valerie, I like to ask all my guests if they have any daily non negotiables.
My daily non-negotiable is not to start my day with negativity,
Mm,
and not to carry over from like today into tomorrow. So one of the things that I like to do is, end my day with positivity. If it's writing something down that I've done, some accomplishments that I've done, or just being grateful for the things that happened that day, do some meditation before I go to sleep to put myself in a positive mind frame. Sometimes I might listen to some, meditation music. Um, Set my, tomorrow when I wake up, I want to do this, this, and this. So then when I wake up, I set that intention of what I wrote down that I want to do. And then start my day with meditation, prayer, and of course, me and my boyfriend, Jim. And it just helps me rise to a higher vibration positivity. And I feel, because I am an energy worker, I forgot to say that too. I'm telling you, just many things I forget. I am very much into energy work. I don't even think I said I'm a Reiki master. I forgot that part too. Um, but I believe that when your energy vibration is low, everything can get on your nerves. Like you're just so frazzled, you're so overwhelmed. But when you work and increase that and take it to another, to the highest vibration that you can get that day, and you keep working on it and working on it, you're able to be like, oh, you know what? Let's just brush that off. We're not going to worry about that. That's trivial, that's minute, that's not, and then you're able to put other things into perspective as well, where before you be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But and all this takes time. I didn't do this in, a year. It was almost 2 years. The meditation, I can actually meditate to the point that I can take myself out of this house, to the beach, or feel my feet in the sand, or be outside, doing something. But like you were saying, it's not, the amount of time, it's the time that you put in, and making that goal. Maybe start out with 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is a long time if you haven't done it. And then the deep breathing. You have to get acclimated to breathing properly, because we don't breathe properly. A lot of people are like, oh, I did that and I was so dizzy. Yeah, because you're breathing properly. Your lungs are getting good air volume. So yes, that could happen. But and then for maybe, if you want to do it for 2 weeks, if you want to only do it for a month, of like setting a time frame, then move it up, and keep moving it up. I never thought that I could meditate for an hour. I can meditate for more than an hour, but the thing is that I get to the point that's all I want to do, because you feel so good. It's so important to start your day that way. And it allows you to be able to face whatever comes your way that day. And sometimes, you ever hear people say, when something happens, just breathe, just breathe. And I used to be like, what do you mean just breathe, just breathe? This is happening, breathing's not going to help. It does, because you're so focused on your breathing. You know, I like to tell people, just like focus on the rise and the fall of your chest, and just focus on that. And then take in a deep breath, through your mouth, through your nose, and blow it out through your mouth. And just listen to that, so you're listening to that. Then you're, focusing on the rise and the fall of your chest. Then you're saying, whatever you want to say, picture a white light above your head, and you feel that white light coming down through your head, through your face. Relax your eyes, relax your jaws, relax your chin, relax your neck. And then you just, get to the woosah part. And you're so distracted, because you're focusing on that breathing. You're returning to center. What's making you happy, where your happy place is. So it's so important to start your day that way. And if you just do it for 2 minutes, it's good, until you can do it longer. But it's it's the game changer.
It really is. And I love that you address that start small. I had such a big resistance. I was like, all these, people going around being like, oh, meditation. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's weird. Because I just wasn't raised around that. And so
Mm-hmm.
it seemed weird to me. I had not been exposed to it, it was something new. So
Mm-hmm.
my brain identified it as weird, and I don't want to do that, right? I had a lot of
Right.
resistance. And so I had to work through that. And by getting more exposure and getting more knowledge around it, and then being ready, right? Nobody was
Mm-hmm.
like, you have to meditate or else, like, you're a bad
Right.
person or you're a failure. It was, I got to a point where I was like, I want to know more about this. I want to give this a try.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I did. And you really do need to start small, because 2 minutes does seem like a really long time. We are so used to fast and go and instant gratification and noise all around us all the time. So to actually allow yourself 2 minutes to focus on your breathing is, it feels like an eternity in the beginning.
It does. It does. And like I said, in the beginning, you might feel a little lightheaded because you're breathing in so much more air. And that will go away, and something you might not feel it at all. It's no, like, that's not no sign like you are going to feel like that. But I tell you, what will happen is you will feel a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you say, your affirmation as you're breathing in and out, like, I am loved, I am lovable, I am loving, whatever you want to say about yourself, say that in your meditation, and put some music on. I've been to both without music and with music, and I like the music because it takes me someplace. It just gives me a sense of serenity, and the wusa part of it. But if you don't start out small, and you make that challenge too big, when you fail, you're going to fail, and then you don't want to do it. It doesn't work. I told you, it doesn't work. So that's why I like to say, starting off with the baby steps. Baby steps are okay, because soon you'll go to the adult steps where you're taking in more and adding in more things. And, oh, well, let me add some of this. And there's sound, sound harmonics, is you can make different sounds, for different things. And I have a singing bowl I use. And there's just so many different things that you can do to take you and your mind to a different place. And in this environment that we're in right now, you need to have something else to focus on besides all the tragedy that you hear going on in the world.
Absolutely. awesome way to really ground yourself, and you get to
Mm-hmm.
choose. Like I think you use the word like setting your intention.
Mm-hmm.
You get to choose what's my intention for today.
Right. Absolutely. And it's so important that, you know, people always want to think it's like a big rocket science type thing, and setting your intention could be like, today I'm going to be positive. It could be something that simple, or today I choose to invest in myself. Today I choose to show up for myself and be the best that I can be today, because it's today. We're not talking about tomorrow or yesterday. We're talking about what we're going to do today, what we want to achieve today. And those are some of the types of things that you can say. It's not like you have to go look something up. You are saying what you want to achieve, what you want for yourself. And the same thing with the affirmations. It's almost the same as setting your intention. I am willing to accept what, the universe has for me today. I'm going to make the best of it. And then, I am loved, I am lovable, I am loving. I think that was one of the first ones that I used to say. And I used to say that all the time because I used to think that I wasn't lovable. Um, and there's just, live for today. I will live for today. Um, I will let my dreams take me places that I never thought I could go. There's just so many things that you can say because you're really, to me, I feel like I'm just talking to myself. I'm saying what I want myself to believe. Because we're so quick to say so many negative things about ourselves, and putting those things into the atmosphere, unfortunately, can come back to you. So you want to put those things into the atmosphere that are positive, that are life changing, because that's what you'll get back. What you put out is what you're going to get back. So that's one reason I like to do that, because you're off to work, you're dealing with people with road rage and just people and their rudeness in general. You would think that through this COVID situation and all the different things that are going on, people's attitudes would be a little bit different, but unfortunately, they're not. So, I think if you're rooted and grounded, then you are two steps ahead of them.
Absolutely. And we can't control other people, but we can control how we want to perceive it, how we want to respond to it, and if we want somebody cutting you off in traffic to ruin your whole day or not.
Right, right. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that, or I can't believe she did that. And you can move on to the next thing. A lot, even at work, people get on your nerves, and then sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going to take in a couple deep breaths, and then I'm going like, how can I help you? But you really, it's a, I think it's a mind thing, and it's a personal, journey that you take, like you said, and for me, I was the same way as you were, being brought up in the church. Those are things that you don't do. That was like, ooh, that's like magic, or,
Right.
you're not supposed to do those types of things. But then when you actually do the research and look at the different things that you do, they are not bad. They people make them bad, but I choose to make them for good. And all of those things are good. I'm not energy, he is energy. So I'm just the facilitator of that. I'm the conduit for the release of that. So I think once we change our acceptance, our knowledge of it, and embrace it for what it really is, will you be able to move forward? Because I was like, I am not doing that. That is bad. I used to be on the boardwalk. There's a lot of fortune tellers at the Jersey Shore, and I'd be like, oh my God, ooh, you're bad. I mean, not that I'm a fortune teller, but it's you don't know because you've been told that it's bad, but check it out and see if it is. Yeah, I'm guaranteeing you that it's not.
Yeah. Uh, specifically with meditation, like neuroscience is finally catching up. So science is catching up to what has been known for
Mhm.
centuries, right, in terms of meditation and the benefits of it. And then, depending on what version of the Bible you're reading, I mean, it's like meditate upon these things, like prayer and meditation really go
Right.
hand in hand. So, yeah, it's just a matter of arming yourself with the knowledge and coming at it in a way that aligns with your values and your beliefs.
Mhm. Mhm. It really does. And it's like you said in the Bible, they laid hands on people. Like it says, meditate on these things day and night. Um, it's just so many things that are in there that are the same things that you're doing, that we're doing. And it's not bad. And yes, I understand that people do black magic and things like that, but they're from that's a whole different story. That's a whole nother show.
Yep.
And I don't even know about that. But I actually went to school for etheric touch, where I learned ancestral lineage and learned about self-care, learned about meditation. And our teacher was very, very adamant about, dealing in that realm, because that is a real realm and you can get messed up with that.
Hmm.
And that's just something that I don't choose to do. And I think that what I do is to help women, refocus, um, get back to where they need to be, because sometimes we just get in such a funk that we feel that there's no hope. There's nothing that we can do, to help ourselves. And, beside, you can, of course, therapy is something that you should have. And then these are some other tools that you can use to help you. And that was something that I learned in my journey. Nope, I don't need therapy. I'm fine. I don't need none of your help, but I needed therapy. And therapy was what got me to the point that I realized that in this pain, I had purpose.
Mm,
And I was able to take that purpose and now turn it around and help other women.
I love that. Yes. And I've had different times in my life where I was in therapy and then I didn't need it. And then some new thing would come up and I would choose to engage in that again. And it's
Mhm.
just about where you are on your journey and what it is you need and seeking out the resources available to you.
Mhm.
Whether it's, you might be in a phase where you need therapy, you might be in a phase where you need a good book. I just
Mhm.
started a book today on my afternoon walk about self compassion, and it was recommended to me by my therapist.
Right,
And
right.
it's like, I'm only, in like chapter two because my walk was maybe like 45 minutes. And I'm just like mind blown by some of the things that this author is sharing. And um, she hit on some of the stuff that you hit on, like those feelings of being unlovable and just how to incorporate self compassion. Like, what is self
Mhm.
compassion? How can we have
Mhm.
self compassion? So I'm really excited to dig deeper into that and see
Yeah.
where that leads my growth journey as well. So,
And that's really good. I like that. And what you just said was really powerful. Your therapist gave that to you, and it's just like what we're doing right now. We're just talking.
mhm,
That person is listening to you. If you want to vent, you need to get something out. It does not put a stigma on you that you're crazy or this or that, but you need to talk, you need to get it out, because so many of us want to keep it in. And I've been saying this for the last 2 months. I've been on different shows, and a lot of times people talk about that strong woman. I'm a
mhm,
strong woman, I'm this, I'm that. But let me tell you something about that strong woman. That strong woman will not ask for help
mhm,
when she needs it. That strong woman keeps everything bottled in. That strong woman will not let other people in to help her because she doesn't feel as though she needs your help. So, all of those things that are negative or emotionally taxing, you're holding. So, how does that make you a strong woman? To me, a strong woman is someone who will ask for help, someone who is willing to let people in her life. A lot of times, I hear, the strong, what goes on in this house stays in this house. What goes on here stays here. I'm not going to talk about it. You can't talk about it. But the thing is that you have to talk about it. And being that strong woman, you keep everything in. So how is that being strong? To me, that's being harmful to yourself. The strong woman is the one who can stand up and say, you know what? I need help. I need to go see a therapist. I need to, talk to a friend about a certain situation, or I need to let that go. I need to release this. And because I used to always like, no, girl, I'm fine because I'm a strong woman. I can do that. Yeah, I was keeping everything inside and just letting it build up and build up and build up. So that's my thought about the strong woman. And it took me a minute to actually come to that conclusion because it's said so much, but to me it's taken out of context.
I agree. We have the power to reframe what that strong woman looks like.
Hmm.
We know what it's historically looked like, and we can now model the new era of strong women.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely,
I love
definitely,
it.
definitely.
Um, I want to make sure because you have such a generous offer for our listeners today. You've said anybody that reaches out to you via email at valerie@purposeforwellness.com, that you'd be willing to meet with them for a free 30-minute session.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I love what I do. I do a lot of things for free. My friends are like, you shouldn't do things for free. But you know what? If someone didn't pay it forward for me, I might not be sitting here talking to you. I could be dead. I've tried to commit suicide. There's so many things that could have happened to me, but someone believed in me enough to help me. So me giving you 30 minutes of my time is paying it forward. And who knows who I could help, in that 30 minutes. A lot can be said in 30 minutes. So I am willing to give 30 minutes of my time, to whomever. And if you contact me at Valerie@purposeforwellness.com, then I will send you my calendar and get you on the calendar, and we will sit down and we call it a Let's Talk. So we will have a Let's Talk session and see what's ailing you, what's eating you. It's so many things, that can be contributing to what's going on. And it might be something simple, it might be something, serious. But, let's find out. Let's find out what's going on.
Yes, thank you so much for offering that. And thank you so much for being here tonight and giving of your time for free this evening as well. You just brought a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. And I know our listeners, current and in the future on the replay and podcast, are just going to get so much out of this. So thank you very much, Valerie. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm getting increasingly nervous about the storm outside, that it's going to mess with my electricity and
Yeah.
internet and my sound quality if the thunder starts going again. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But thank you so much, Valerie. And everybody, if you got value out of this episode, we just ask that you please, pay it forward, share it with somebody.
Yes.
It's real easy to hit the share button and share this Facebook video, or if you are hearing it on the podcast or watching it on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you happen to find this, it's very easy to share the link. And if you would like to leave a podcast review, that's always very much appreciated as well. You can do that at ratethispodcast.com/Khalil, Calyl, for Create a Life You Love. And real quick, Valerie, I know you have a podcast show too. Tell us the title of that so people can go check you out there as well.
My show is called Speak Up and Speak Loud, and it is on Facebook. There is a Facebook page called Speak Up and Speak Loud. If you are interested in being a guest, DM me. We're always looking for guests because someone wants to hear your story.
Awesome. Thank you. So go check that out and leave her a review as well in the Facebook. And next week, we have Stephanie Sylvia Costello, as she's the intimacy and relationship mentor who helps parents and couples courageously set boundaries, assertively communicate, and enhance their self control. So we will be in the Create a Life You Love community, same time, same place, next Tuesday. Thank you, everyone, so much. And thank you, Valerie. Good night.
Night. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Create a Life You Love podcast. I would love to hear from you about your biggest takeaways. Share them with me on Facebook or Instagram at Create a Life You Love Coaching. If you love this podcast, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. That's it for now. Enjoy the journey.